Hi everyone. There are not many people in the world who I really, really, really wanted to meet, but this is one of them. I had a long conversation with him once only, I think maybe twice, but that conversation was so enriching, so learning. I was amazed by his intellect. I was amazed by the things he said and did, and I actually followed up with part of what he told me. He gave me the idea to start having interviews done and write a book about the experiences of the 500 mutual friend, and I started doing that then. Um, how are you doing, Rafiki?
I'm great, Rihan, and thank you for those wonderful, kind words. Thank you very much.
Rafiki, would you like to introduce a little bit yourself? Who are you, and what's your purpose in life?
Wow, what's my purpose in life? So first of all, I am Rafiki Cai, and I'm talking to you today from Open Chicago, which happens to be taking place in my city of birth, that I no longer live in, but I'm here on the Prove That I'm Alive to My Family tour, and happen to have the great experience of meeting Rihan face to face. Who am I? I am a technologist of a couple of decades now. I've been involved with internet technology before there were browsers, actually, before there were search engines, right? So I've watched the whole entire evolving of the public internet as we know it. So that is who I am. What is my purpose in life? Wow. My purpose in life is to encourage myself and others, right, to understand that we are human, but we're more than human at the same time, right? My key belief is oneness. I believe if there's any one principle, any one word that reflects my aspirations, my hopes, my dreams, what I'd like to cultivate and see unfold in this world, that's our awareness of our oneness. All things being connected, we to each other and we to the other parts of this existence. That means the planet, waters, animals, all are one. Oneness is my purpose.
Do you want to teach it to others, or you want to work on helping them realize that, or how?
So I believe that if something is your purpose, then the life that you live is really the unfolding of that purpose, right? And I don't believe that that necessarily has to be encased in an ology or an ism. It should be encased in your life. It should be encased in what you do. It should be encased in what you say, how you think, how you act, how you serve, how you interact, right? Because if it's your purpose, then it should really, really be the threads that are a part of everything that you leave. So I would like to think that I go about it every day and every hour sharing, because I don't believe that I can necessarily teach oneness to someone, but I believe that I can perhaps spur their awareness or invite them to consider. Say, for example, when I was 12 years old, my favorite authors were Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. They were among my favorites, right? And they did not necessarily teach me of oneness, but their sharing about oneness, their speaking to oneness, helped to spur my own awareness and my own interest and curiosity and my own path into oneness and embracing oneness. So I certainly would love to always be encouraging others to consider oneness, to see oneness, and to embrace oneness.
Wow. How can people who believe in oneness practice oneness?
So if oneness indeed is an existential or metaphysical fact, everything that we do, every vibration that we give off has consequences, because everything that we are and everything that we do is not in a silo, right? So that is the first I would say, principle of practicing oneness is to understand that everything we do affects the whole, right? And this is critical for us as a species at this point in time, right? One of my current reoccurring meditations is we're about the only species in existence that destroys and undermines the very habitat that supports and sustains it. I cannot think of any other species, if you go throughout the forest, right, you don't find any animal behaving in such a way that would destroy the water, the trees, the very habitat upon which its very life exists and is needed, right? So we really, really, really need to raise our level of awareness, our consciousness, and even if it doesn't get tagged or branded as oneness, there is definitely some connectedness, awareness that we need to cultivate quick and in a hurry, because we're really amplifying our own extinction. And of course there are like degrees and degrees of agony that are played out in that march to extinction. But if we really, so let me put it simply, interconnectedness and respect of that principle of existence is the antidote for our own sustainability, right? It's at the core of what we refer to as sustainability, understanding that all of life is interwoven and that we are not an exception to that rule. We are a part of existence just like every other element of existence.
What are some YouTube videos you would want others to go and study from to understand this even deeper?
So I'm more of a reader than a YouTuber. So
books. Okay,
right.
Books.
So in that sense, books come to mind. One of the classics that helped me was the Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. And if you happen to be of Christian persuasion or even of any religious persuasion, the book God Has Many Names would be helpful. And then two of the names that are already mentioned, Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, but also there are a couple of more. There's Howard Thurman and Carl Jung. All of these great minds speak about and address the issue of the interconnectedness of our existence.
I believe that what you just said is true. I believe that we're all connected. I believe that we just don't know how to access that oneness. I believe that we are all interconnected as species also. You help me understand that we might be interconnected to other species also, which probably is true. So I'm still on the journey of understanding on how to access this oneness, right? This is brilliant. You have been connected to me for a few years. Mm-hmm. Tell me 3 things which I should improve in myself so I can become a better person.
Wow. So I don't know at this point of our friendship journey that I'm qualified to offer that observation, because even though I've been connected to you, I have not been intimately connected to you or frequently enough connected to you to make observations, right? So rather than offer an observation about improvement, I certainly am in a position to offer an observation of encouragement and say that as you are journeying currently and with the state of heart that you have and the undying energy. I do not know where this man gets his energy from. He might need to write another little book on how to energize oneself, and he can share his his herbal antidotes or his vitamin regimens or whatever it is that he's enlisting in his lifestyle. But I will say the way that you do exist on this planet that I have observed, I would encourage you to continue in that direction. It's principled, it's meaningful, it's a great value, right? And probably more than you will ever know, right? Because we're never really able to measure the full effect of our deeds, right? Because it's kind of like a domino effect, right? So we might see only the effects that are within our purview, but that person that was touched by you touches someone else who touches someone else, and you never have any idea of that, right? But then again, that goes back to the interconnectedness. So thank you for thinking outside of the box. Thank you for having the courage to be outside of the box. Thank you for being a visionary, right? Thank you for thinking and acting on an exponential scale, right? Most people would think that it would be phenomenal to have 8,000 followers on Facebook, and without the help of Hollywood or without the help of a $300 million budget for a movie, you have 800,000 followers on Facebook. And just even having the vision that you have of 1 million people connected to you on Facebook, that's the kind of moonshot and bigger than life kinds of thinking that we need to really, really make our existence on this planet better. So I really, really, really want to thank you for that contribution and how you stand in that way.
Thank you. If you were to win the lottery tomorrow and get $1 million, where would you spend it? What would you do more? You're already doing what you're supposed to do. What would you do more?
If I'm gonna win the lottery, I'm getting more than $1 million. So let's start there, right? Because $1 million is
it's not really much.
If I win the lottery, I want to get at
$100
least
million.
5, 10, 100 million.
Right.
But at some point, it's the principle of the question that he's asking. If I win the lottery, what would I do? As a father and as someone who has co-created life, right, and that's why I need more than $1 million, right? Because if I win only $1 million, that's going directly to my daughter, right? That's going directly to
what's her name?
Cai Andre.
Cai, right? You're a lucky girl.
I think that if we procreate life, if we bring life onto this planet, that's a sacred responsibility, right? And I'm not tooting my horn. I am far from an excellent father, right? But I know that in my heart, I am the kind of father that I really, really continuously inspire to be in actual life, right? And part of that is the generational shift. When I leave this planet, my daughter should not have to climb the same mountains that I had to climb. She should not have to face the same stressors that I had to face. She can go find some new ones, right? She can go blaze some new territory, right? And it's my responsibility to give her momentum in that regards. So if I was to win the lottery and win a minimum of $5 or $10 million up to $100 million or more, I think a few of the things that I would immediately do is put away a portion of that in an estate for my daughter, right, that would bear an annual interest, right? She can always get the interest, but she can never get the principal, right? And then you create a crop that yields, and you only live off the yield. You never destroy the crop, right? So I would definitely invoke that principle immediately. Put a portion of the winnings into a fund for her, and it would be significant. The annual yield on it would be more than enough to contribute to her independent living. And then I think I would do the same for myself, right? Because if I win the lottery, I'm still alive, right? So I would do the same for myself. And when I make my transition from this planet, My daughter would be responsible for steering that estate that I set up for myself as well, right? And she would need to use the return from my estate to do charity, because I already set her up. She already has her own individual thing, right? But mine, she would need to do charity. I definitely would invest an amount in Grameen banking, right? To facilitate, and there's no secret in that this is a video. I am of African American descent, right? My love is for all people. My commitment to a particular degree is for other people of African descent, and especially for those who have not been as fortunate as myself to live in one of the most developed countries on the planet, right? So if I was to win the lottery, a portion of what I would win would go into Grameen banking, so that I could facilitate an economic flow back and forth from African Americans in America and Africans on the continent and in the diaspora, as we say, so that we could better stimulate economic development in Africa and throughout the diaspora. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rafiki. You're an amazing guy. I don't know why you have limited yourself to not doing the most amazing things you can do. I'm pretty sure you know what they are. I don't need to tell you.
My family tells me this all the time.
Yeah.
So I take that to heart. And maybe your moonshot type of thinking and moving and being will rub off on me. And I think that's a perfect segue. So if I could take a minute to share a current project that I'm doing with whoever will view this, because I believe this project is opening up an energy in me in the direction that you just alluded to. So, next April 4th, that's April 4th, 2018, will mark the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, right? And the contribution that I am making to the world is to encourage an increased awareness about the life and philosophy of Dr. King, right? Most people use as their lens in on Dr. King either the I Have a Dream speech or letter from a Birmingham jail. The fact of the matter is, Dr. King self-authored 6 books himself, right? So I am challenging 1,968 persons, right, between April 4th, 2018 and April 4th, 2019, right, to read Dr. King's last book that he published before his assassination, which is entitled, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? That was his last book. And so my project is to bring 1,968 minds to a higher level of awareness about Dr. King, his work and his philosophy. We want people to read the book, reflect on the book and the readings, and then share your insights or your highlights within your circle of comfort or your circle of influence. So later in this year, we'll be launching from the site in 1968.com, right? If you want to get more details, or you can find me online. Rafiki Cai is my name. So Rafiki Cai on Facebook, Rafiki Cai on LinkedIn. If you want to get more information about the project, or you want to be a part of it, or you would like to see it flourish and there's something that you can contribute, I certainly welcome you to the experience. And thank you, Rihan, for this opportunity to even share the project and to do this interview and to finally meet you in person and to get to see you doing your magical thing in actual, like in real life. It's been quite an experience, and I'm thankful for it.
Thank you. Is the Where Can We Go From Here available as an audiobook?
So great question. So from in 1968.com, eventually people who would like to participate in the project, right, will be able to check out an ebook version of Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community. The book is readily available if you're just a textile print kind of person on Amazon.com. There is an audio version of it available. It's a little bit more expensive than the ebook version, but it is available in audio book, in ebook, and in printed book. And eventually from in1968.com, we will be making access to the ebook and the printed paperback version available.
How about I make you an offer?
This is so classic Rihan Alawala. Like, he cannot, be in a space and not challenge someone or make an offer. I'm not surprised at all. I should have been already expecting this. Okay, I hope this is a grand offer because we're like Facebook Live or by video. So yes.
So the two offers. One is Mentor Africa page, where I would find you thousands of Africans where you can mentor them and just be with them and encourage them, buddy, you can do it. Buddy, you can do it. That's all you have to do, because the dots need to be connected, and the moment you connect them, it fixes. So I would require half an hour a week from you for that, or even an hour, up to you, and from your mobile phone. That's it. Okay. That's one. Is that a yes, or are you going to give me that time to me?
So when you said Mentor Africa page, where is this page going to be, or how?
It's our Facebook page where people would be able to, from Africa, come in and ask you simple questions. How do I do that? How do I do this? And just take your encouragement. That's about it. You don't have to give them any money.
For sure.
Done? Done?
Okay. So yes, I accept that offer.
Okay. What day and of the week and what time of the week would you be least free?
Ideal for me would be Sunday, and
Sunday?
There's an interesting notion as to why Sunday would be ideal for me.
I don't care. Time?
Well, I'd like to share this part though, because it'll be a little window in on myself, right? And why this offer resonates with me. Before coming to technology, I followed 3 preceding generations in my family in going into ministry. And for 6 years, I was an active minister, right?
Wow.
So obviously on Sunday, right, how most ministers engage, right? And so I'm no longer active in traditional religious ministry in that sense. So always on Sunday, there's this kind of vibration, of doing a certain kind of thing, of reaching out, right? So this offer falls squarely into that Sunday phenomenon. So Sunday would be the best day and time for me.
Time?
Wow. Now see, time is interesting because I travel so often between time zones and countries. So I'm gonna say Sunday for sure, and let's try to make it somewhere between noon Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, right?
All right.
So
not a firm time.
Yeah, but Sunday for sure.
Okay. Sunday noon we start off with.
Right.
All right. One last thing is I will make a commitment on my end. I will listen to the book first, but then you will have to read that book again as an audio book, and then I will help you convert it into a documentary.
Okay, so
if you're
people really want me to read this book, right? And so the only concern that I have, right, is publishing violations.
Okay,
right?
so we will find a lawyer who can guide us
now, okay.
how much manipulation we can do that it doesn't violate anybody's rights.
And maybe it's Riaza.
The what?
From last night, Riaza at Pillsbury.
You never know.
Right,
you never know.
Right. Okay, so attorneys, those of you who are out there who may listen or may come about this video, we want to tackle this issue of making an audio version available of a, so
If it-
clearly it'd have to be for free, right? We wouldn't have to, we wouldn't be able to charge. But will there be any intellectual property violation rights if I do
Read it.
if I read a version of a published book that is actively published and that is not in open,
Right.
forget what they call it, in technology is open source, but there's another public domain. So a book that is not in public domain that has active publishing rights being executed, what's the space that we have for my reading a copy of that book and making it available to the public? Help us out, attorneys and paralegals as well, and law students and legal researchers.
Alrighty. Thank you, Kai. Would you be able to run that project then? I'll hire you the team.
What
yeah.
project is that? The Mentor app?
Converting that book into a documentary.
So I think that what I can definitely, without any reservation, commit to is there definitely will be, as a part of my project, a curriculum developed around the book, right? And we also are going to be getting at least 1,968 people to share their reflections in their reading of the book. We're going to also create, in a way, a gamification, a trivia gamification of 50 questions.
Come on. उसका कार्ड लाना, उससे सेल्फी लेके
Out of the
दोस्ती
book.
करनी।
So out of that collective thing of the project itself, 1,968 people reading the book, the curriculum around the book, I think we certainly can do a documentary from that space, and I would be more than happy for that to happen.
Fire. Done deal, man. Thank you so much.
Cool. Here on Facebook, October 21st, Saturday, Chicago, Before the World, the in1968.com project gets a noble and spirited gesture of support and encouragement from Rihan Alawala.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for the interview.
God bless you. And everyone who just watched, please share this video and also make sure that you add him on Facebook and inbox him why you want to add him. And if you know any African American people, invite them to the page for the African mentorship, so that we can get Africa to where it's supposed to be.